Hello. Today we'll be talking about education with Dr. Manicia Finch. Stay on The Bernie Hayes Show. And welcome back. Today we'll be talking to Dr. Manicia Finch, the Dean of Enrollment Management, that is, at Harris-Stowe State University. Dr. Finch, how are you?
I am well, Bernie, and very excited to be on your show.
Oh, Mike, that was my pleasure, all mine. Dr. Landria Stewart sent me a lot of information about you and about Harris-Stowe State University. What does the Dean of Enrollment Management do?
Manage the entire process of admitting students, making sure that we are filling our enrollment gaps, and just offering great opportunity from Harris-Stowe State University, not just to freshmen. I think oftentimes when people hear enrollment management, they just think about one component of it. They don't think about the financial aid component or the registrar component, just the admissions. But the entire division has to work together in unison to make sure that not only we're bringing great students, but we're giving them great opportunities to be successful.
I understand that Harris-Stowe State University is one of the most affordable universities in the area. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Harris-Stowe State not only is one of the most affordable institutions, but it's also have a great level of excellence with academics. So when you think about, for an in-state student, about $16,000 a year, $210 a credit hour, you can't beat that anywhere in the state. And even in a lot of out-of-state, as we engage students in various states and various markets, we share not just the excellence of the institution of Harris-Stowe State, but we also share the costs, and their parents are blown away that they can come to a state-supported school with great academic programs, very affordable.
Now, you're not from St. Louis.
I am not.
Where are you from?
I am from Alabama. Some people call it Alabonanza.
The great state of Alabama.
I am.
Well, how did you get affiliated with the HBCUs, and especially Harris-Stowe State University?
I have such an interesting story. It would just blow you away. So my father was a HBCU graduate, my sister HBCU, my brother HBCU.
Wow.
My grandmother and all my uncles and aunts, historical black college graduates. So coming out of a family of 7, somebody has to follow in your parents' footsteps.
Right.
And my daddy said, not one, but all of y'all. So we all are HBCU graduates, except for my one sister who's an anesthesiologist that went to med school at a traditional school.
Well, before you came to St. Louis, how much of Harris-Stowe State University did you know about?
A lot. So I've followed the trajectory of Harris-Stowe and the excellence of the institution. So one of the things about me that you'll learn is that I just love historical black colleges, but I also want to make a difference. In making a difference, you look at where a school is, and I've worked at 5 historical black colleges and had some great experiences, humbly, with, bringing enrollment and engaging students and rallying the team. Harris-Stowe State offers some great opportunities that are not being utilized. So in order to do that, you hook up with a great team such as Dr. Stewart in communication and her team, and you get the word out and let people know that you don't have to leave the state of Missouri. You can stay right here and have a great experience at Harris-Stowe State University and flourish. So that's what we've been doing.
Are you on a recruitment campaign right now?
Oh, wow. We're on several recruitment campaigns. So I tell you, we're excited that communication blessed us with 600 masks. We're doing a masked up campaign right now where every accepted student will receive a Harris-Stowe State mask to wear, of course, in this COVID environment. And then we're doing the top 100 scholars, which I'm very excited about. Dr. Corey Bradford Sr., our new president, he came in with a great vision to really dig deep into the St. Louis area and also the state of Missouri to make sure that we are rallying our best students to be a part of the top 100 scholars, which is an exciting initiative that's going to give 100 scholarships to 100 deserving and achieving students.
Wow.
And I tell you, so far, it's just been mega successful. We've had a lot of schools to sign the MOU agreement with us. I got a shout out to Normandy High School, Superintendent Robinson and Miss Marsh. They were the first school to jump on board for the top 100 scholars among Confluent and a lot of other schools. And I don't want to start naming them because I don't know them all by heart.
Sure.
But we're excited that they're all right here in the St. Louis area, and that we're going to be helping their students to have more opportunities to thrive right here locally at home. Not only will they be a part of the inaugural group of the top 100 scholars, they will also be automatically entered into the honors college.
Wow.
And they're going to have a lot of great privileges to lead. And I call them, they're going to be our leaders and our legends. So we're very proud of this initiative, and it is going very well so far.
How many the other institutions that you were affiliated with? Could you name them for me?
I'll be glad to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a graduate of Alabama A&M University, a very proud HBCU graduate. I've also worked at Alabama A&M for 11 years. I actually got my start at Alabama A&M, not just for my undergraduate degree, but also for being in enrollment management. I worked as an admissions counselor, so I know enrollment management from top to bottom for 11 years, and between being an admissions counselor and then director of recruiting and then assistant director of admission. I also worked at Bethune-Cookman University, and that's in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Sure.
And then Stillman College, which is another very small historical black college in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I worked there as well. And then my last assignment prior to coming here, I was the Associate Vice Chancellor of Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But great experiences across the board. I wouldn't trade anything that I've learned and been able to share with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students and parents to make them successful at their matriculation at all of these schools.
You left Baton Rouge to come to St. Louis, Missouri. What really attracted you to Harris-Stowe State University? And how would you compare HSSU to the other universities that you attended?
I'm going to give you two comparisons. The
Sure.
first one is size. When you think about Alabama A&M being somewhere upward of 8,000 to 9,000 students, and then Southern University being 7,000 plus students. And I tell you humbly, I'm so excited to tell you that I brought the largest enrollment at both of those institutions as large institutions. And then you think about Bethune-Cookman and Stillman, and of course Harris-Stowe, which are all small schools. And I've had the pleasure of bringing the largest enrollment at Stillman and also at Bethune-Cookman. So I just want that trajectory, that upward trajectory to be here at Harris-Stowe, and I'm a part of the change agent for that, and I'm very excited to be there. I'm very excited.
You know, although they consider Harris-Stowe mostly a historically black college, you have a very diverse student population, don't you?
Extremely diverse.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you too, Bernie, that was another thing that really attracted me to Harris-Stowe, is the diversity of the population, the location. I mean, being in Midtown St. Louis, and I'm still learning the area since I've been here a couple of months.
Sure.
I love the artsiness of the district. It's in a safe area. Students can walk around on campus and feel safe and encouraged. And everything is very in proximity of what you need to be successful, meaning the great library is right there, and then you have awesome athletic complex that's new, and I cannot wait until they finish with Cardinal Field. Man, that thing is beautiful. So I just want all the parents and students to know that there is such a great opportunity at Harris-Stowe State for your students to thrive right here at home. And a lot of people don't know, Bernie, when you say, I want to attend the HBCU, you got one of the greatest HBCUs in the nation right here in your back door, and that's Harris-Stowe State University. Dr.
Manicia Finch is the Dean of Enrollment Management at Harris-Stowe State University, and we're at the New Life Evangelistic Center, 2428 Woodson Road in Oldham, Missouri. We've been here quite a while now, but we're trying to still reopen 1411 Locust Street in downtown St. Louis. We'll be right back with Dr. Finch after this.
One of the most difficult things in life is loving difficult people, particularly people that are so headstrong, so belligerent, and so bigoted that we just find ourselves resenting everything about them. But thank God for His mercy. So rather than reacting to their bigotry, perhaps we need to take a look at our shoe a little closer and see that shoes come in all different sizes, shapes, and colors, and God has called us to love them all. On the end of the shoe, there's a heel. We all have a tendency to be heels at times. And so we can become the biggest heels, and God wants us to come to Him and ask Him for forgiveness for when we're a heel. But He wants us to have the ability to love those that seem like the real heels. We got to remember they all got soles, just like we have at the bottom of the shoe, and the shoe is flexible. Also, in the shoe, there's eyes. And so we need to ask God to show us that that's not what this person is saying and doing is just not totally who they are. We need to see some good in that person, and may we have eyes to see that and have the ability to be obedient, to love them. As Jesus said, "New commandment I give you, that you love one another." That means controlling our tongue, that we're not just as bigoted and unkind as they are, so we can reflect God's love. And actually, a shoe just doesn't work by itself. It's got to have a foot in it, and that means we need God's love in our life each day. And it doesn't just operate by itself. They come in pairs. So there's people out there that God wants to bring into our lives that He wants us to work together with. So let us let God come and work in our lives and direct us as we journey through life. Let's ask Him to give us that grace to love difficult people. Some are rough, some are smooth. They come in all different sizes, shapes, and colors. May our tongues offer kindness and gentleness and patience. And may we be abiding in God's love always, so it can flow through us, that we can engage in His revolution of love and be a people who are different, a people who are willing to stand up and love one another, just as Christ told us to do.
Welcome back, Dr. Manicia Finch. She's the Dean of Enrollment Management at Harris-Stowe State University, as our guest. Dr. Finch, what about ACT and those other scores, that I hear so often? Kids taking these different tests. Does that affect enrollment at the Harris-Stowe State University?
At this point, Bernie, I want to share two narratives with you. The first is that we're operating in a COVID-19 environment. And in that environment, we're having to have some flexibility with our students because of a lot of the ACT and SAT testing centers are closed. So what we're implementing now a test optional policy, and that test optional policy, if a student has a 3.0, we have a slogan: if you have a 3.0, you are in the Stowe. So we're admitting students without test scores, but still have demonstrated a high level of academic achievement and preparedness. So that's one of our newest campaigns. The second thing I want to say, if they do have a ACT or, of course, a SAT score, then they can still be admitted if they have a 2.5 or higher. We are, at this point, we're trying to change the narrative about our average student. And the great thing is we've already had great success with that. Our average ACT score, even prior to the COVID environment, was 18, and our average GPA was upwards of a 3.0.
Wow.
So we're super excited about it. We're going to even get even greater and better students during this time, and we are prepared for them. Not only do we want them to thrive academically, and we're going to be presenting a lot of new opportunities, but we're also going to be presenting a lot of new programs too as well, Bernie.
You have a lot of advanced degrees, do you not?
Myself?
No, I mean the school itself, Harris-Stowe.
Yes. So you may not know this, but this is the best kept secret. We're getting ready. We have a new dean, Dr. Hollins, the new dean of the Anheuser-Busch School of Business. I'm super excited about her and our other deans, Dr. Terry Davis, and then, of course, Dr. Rose in the School of Education, and Dr. Davis is Arts and Sciences. So they are working very hard in developing new programs. And, of course, advanced degree tracks. I think the first one that's going to be unveiled is going to be Master's in Business Administration.
Wow.
So this is the best kept secret for the Anheuser-Busch School of Business, and that's with Dr. Hollins. She is definitely a mover and shaker. And you know, our history is education, so Dr.
Sure.
Rose is there, and she's doing an amazing job as well. Dr. Davis, Terry Davis, mover and shaker. They're getting it done. Bernie, I had them on the radio the other day,
wow.
and they just did so well at encouraging students to try non-traditional programs, which we need to do. Our health science is amazing. We have an awesome math and STEM. Great. Dr. Wills is over the STEM program. So it's just a lot of opportunities that are best kept secrets at Harris-Stowe that a lot of people really don't know about, but we're getting the word out.
You know, I understand you're no stranger to the components that we're on right now, to communications. You have a background also in communications, I understand.
I do. I have a very fluid background, which is now, you know, people think that communication is just radio and TV.
Yeah.
But it's not. Communication is whatever platform you're using to send a message. That's communication. So this is an even greater platform for me to send a positive message to students and parents to come and be a part of Harris-Stowe State. So yes, I started out in TV. I actually worked for Open House Films in New York for a while. I had a very successful communication company, also in Atlanta, for over 12 years. So yes, I've been in communications for a while.
Tell us a little bit more about Dr. Finch. Tell us a little bit more about yourself. Who are you?
I'm going to tell you, I am a person that is very spirit-led. Enrollment management for me is really a ministry. When you're affecting people's lives, such as parents and students, and they believe in you and trusting you that you are giving them the best information and that this is the best opportunity. And I even tell all of my admissions counselors and our team this, is that you are influencers. I had the humble pleasure of being in Forbes magazine, the greatest magazine in the nation, as one of the top influencers in the country. And I don't take that lightly. So when you're talking about changing people's lives and changing their trajectories and they're trusting you, then you gotta be very ethical and moral about the information that you're sharing. And you gotta believe in the product that you're selling. And I do. I believe wholeheartedly in Harris-Stowe State University. 160 years of excellence.
Yeah.
A place don't stay around 160 years if they're not doing a great job, Brian.
I know when I came here in 1965, I had heard about Harris-Stowe State University. It was Harris-Stowe State College at the time. What attracted you to this particular university? Because you had so many opportunities to stay at the other universities that you were affiliated with, but yet and still you chose here. You chose to come to St. Louis, the only HBCU in this area. Why?
So that's a very easy question for me. And if you look, when I started in my, and I'm going to give you again a perspective. I like working at small colleges. I really do. If you look at my history of working at historical black colleges, the majority of them have been small. So Bethune was small. Stillman was even smaller than now Harris-Stowe. So you get a chance to really be a change agent and really make a difference. And I like that. I've been a change agent at every school that I have worked at, but I particularly like being at a small school. I've never lived in the Midwest, so this was a great opportunity for me. But an even greater opportunity was to tag on and be selected by Dr. Corey Bradford Sr. that I obviously had told him enough for him to know that I may be the right person for the job, and to come here and to be a part of this history-making, and I do mean history-making administration. Who would not want to be a part of that? Right. So for me, this is a lot more, Bernie, than than pay.
Sure.
It's truly a ministry, and I feel like regardless of what state I'm in, I can operate this ministry to help students and parents. And this is my season to be at Harris-Stowe State.
How can they reach you?
I love talking to students and parents, so I want them to call me. That's my email. I have my email at finchm@hssu.edu. They can email me and I will Zoom with you. I will talk with you on the phone. One thing I believe in leadership, Bernie, is that I operate from the ground up, meaning that I don't operate from the high seat where I rely on my team to just talk to parents and students. We're all recruiters. Our president, Dr. Corey Bradford, has been working side by side with us. Dr. Stewart has been working side by side with us. We are all recruiters, and we are all collectively responsible for the enrollment at Harris-Stowe State University. So I want parents and students to reach out to me. I want to have a conversation with you, and I want to tell you why Harris-Stowe State University would be a great fit and the best fit for you.
That's great. We'll return to Dr. Finch after this.
An epidemic of homelessness is sweeping throughout the United States of America. In city after city, people are ending up on the streets. Now, instead of feeling overwhelmed, as believers, we can do three things. We can give, we can volunteer, and we can pray. We can pray for the homeless refugees that we're finding in one city after another, all over the United States. So many people ending up out on the streets, and the hearts of so many are growing cold at this particular time and indifferent to the need. Jesus said, as oft as you've done it to the least of these, he said, even so you've done it unto me. When's the last time you've prayed for the homeless refugees in the United States of America, appearing in city after city, not only in major cities, but even smaller cities? So many people ending up out on the streets, even in resort areas, places you never think you'd find homeless people. They're there. Jesus said, foxes have holes and birds have nests, but he, the Son of Man, had nowhere to lay his head. Please pray for the refugees. Please pray for the homeless people in America. And pray for those that are on the front lines, the first responders, reaching out through Jesus Christ among the homeless and hurting, whether it's in Springfield or St. Louis. Your prayers and gifts to the New Life Evangelistic Center makes a big difference. This New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, is 63166.
We'll return to our guests after this Black History Moment. Today's subject, Professor Mia Bay. She's a Roy F. and Jeanette F. Nichols Professor of American History at the University of Pennsylvania. Prior to arriving at Penn, Bay worked at Rutgers University, where she was a professor of history and the director of the Rutgers Center for Race and Ethnicity. Professor Bay is a scholar of American and African American intellectual, cultural, and social history, whose recent interests include Black women's rights and thoughts, African American approaches to citizenship, and the history of race and transportation. She holds a PhD from Yale University and a BA from the University of Toronto. Bay's publications include The White Image in the Black Mind, African American Ideas about White People, To Tell the Truth Freely, and A Life of Ida B. Wells. Bay's current projects include a new book entitled Traveling Black, A Social History of Segregated Transportation, and a book on the history of African Americans and their ideas about Thomas Jefferson. Mia Bay.
The Bernie Hayes program is produced at NLEC TV right here at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. It's our new headquarters since they closed the 1411 Locust building. We're working to get back into that building. In addition to that, trying to help so many people through a wide variety of safe houses, training programs, transportation assistance, so many ways people are getting help because of all of you that are supporting the work of New Life Evangelistic Center. Now, if you'll send a gift of $25 or more, we want to send you this special, the Bernie Hayes Show cup. And we're giving that to people. It's just a way of saying thank you. So when you send your gift, request a cup. We'll be happy to get it off to you. It's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166. You can give online at nlecstl.org. Now I'm really asking all of you to join us in praying The needs are so phenomenal at this particular time. So many hurting and homeless people are contacting us daily, but we're able to help them because of each one of you that are praying, caring, and sharing at this time. Tell your families and friends about NLEC TV and get directly involved yourself.
Welcome back. My guest is Dr. Manicia Finch from the Harris-Stowe State University. She's so much, and I can imagine all the things you've told me about, that your job, your visions must be faith-driven. Is that correct?
It is. I tell you, in everything that I do, I operate in a high level of faith. Coming to St. Louis was a leap of faith. Mm-hmm. I think in time, the Spirit leads you to certain seasons. You can tell when a season began, and you can tell when a season ends, and when you can also tell when the Spirit wants you to do something different. So every school that I've had the privilege of working in, and I do mean a privilege, I've been able to be impactful. And I really believe it's because of the spirituality of what you do in affecting change, but also affecting students. So I've always had to operate in a very high level of faith, because a lot of people don't realize that enrollment management requires a lot of things to be working to work. You got to have a great team, and we have a great team at Harris-Stowe State. You got to have great leadership, and we have great leadership with Dr. Corey Bradford Sr. You got to have a great communication team, and we have an awesome communication team with Dr. Stewart. Yeah. And you got to have everybody that believe in what is needed to make it work. But most of all, they got to believe in you, that you are the right person for the job to move the needle. And I call it keeping your foot on the gas. So as you do that, you got to operate in a high level of effectiveness, Bernie, to make enrollment work. And it becomes discouraging, because you're not going to get every student. You're not going to get every parent to believe in you, but you have to just share the good news and share it with a lot of faith and say, okay, if this is meant to be, Holy Spirit, then this is what's going to happen. Right. And I'm here now and in this season because of my belief and my faith in the Spirit. And your faith roots run deep, I understand. You're a PK? I am. My grandfather was a minister, and my brother now is a minister as well. And I tell you, I don't know what's in store for me, because this is truly a ministry for me too. So yeah, I have quite a few ministers in my cousins that are ministers as well. So quite a few ministers in my family, and a lot of educators. Right. A lot. Dr. Finch, once again, let's see how we can reach you. Let's put that information back up on the screen so they can call you. And any particular hours that you're available? 24 hours. 24 hours. Bernie, we got to get these kids. We got to help these babies. Well, and we got to help these parents make great decisions about college and Harris-Stowe. So I'm available on the weekends. If you call me after 9, I'm probably asleep, but I get up really, really early. But if you leave me a message or text me, I will respond immediately and accordingly. And I look forward to engaging a lot of students and parents and letting them know what's right here in their back door. Harris-Stowe State University, it don't get no better than this. I guess Dr. Corey Bradford and Dr. Alondra Stewart, they're happy to hear you say all these wonderful things. I just want to say thank you so much. You've inspired me just these few minutes we've been together. And for you to come out in this pandemic, to meet us so early in the morning and so late at night, and just be here at New Life Evangelistic Center, I also want to say thank you so much. Your faith is very, very, very. Barney, thank you. Thank you. You are a champion at what you do and a legend. I really enjoyed reading your bio, so thank you for this opportunity. It's all my pleasure. Thank you so very much. And each one of you, I want to thank you for viewing the New Life Evangelistic Center's program. Dr. Finch is a wonderful person. I'm glad she came out. Dr. Stewart came out. And I just want to say thanking you for viewing us today. I'm Bernie Hayes. Have a great day. See you. Stay safe.